Justice Yashwant Verma is one of the senior most judges of the Delhi High Court and was part of the collegium of the Supreme Court. Also, what we are learning is that in order to keep the institution going is what top sources are telling CNN News 18. The decision to recommend his transfer was made is what top sources are telling CNN News 18. So to avoid any disruptions is why his transfer was ordered from the Delhi High Court to the Allahabad High Court. Also, what top sources are telling CNN News 18 is that in the Allahabad High Court, he doesn't remain in the top 3 senior most judges position. Also, that's why the decision was taken, because he's not one of the top 3 judges in the Allahabad High Court. This transfer decision was taken. Now, a report has been sought at the earliest from the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court. Also, after Justice Upadhyay's report, who's the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court, the collegium will decide the future course of action, is what top sources have told CNN News 18. The collegium is actively considering the issue and the in-house inquiry will be done as per proper procedures, is what top sources have told CNN News 18, trying to give the message that everything is above board when it comes to the entire investigation procedure. To get the latest when it comes to the situation unfolding on the ground, I'm joined by my colleague Anvit Srivastav on the broadcast. Anvit, give us the details. What's the latest that you can get for us from ground zero? You've been reporting from outside the judge's residence since the morning.
See, we are right now outside 30 Tughlaq Crescent, which is the official residence of Judge Yashwant Verma, and this is the house actually, from where the fire incident was reported on 14th of March, night around 11:30 p.m. And it is being said that the Verma was not at home. His family, reported the matter to the police and then to the Delhi Fire Services. And all the emergency responders, they had reached this spot, and it was while trying to douse the fire. The pile of cash was spotted in some of the rooms, and then the matter was reported to the higher-ups in the judiciary and as well as in the police department. However, police is not investigating this matter as of now independently, but certainly following the recovery of the unaccounted cash, the Supreme Court Collegium decided to transfer Justice Yashwant Verma from Delhi High Court back to his parent High Court in Allahabad. Now, in another major development, Ayushman, the Supreme Court has also ordered an inquiry to probe all the possible aspects related to the recovery of the cash. Meanwhile, the Allahabad High Court, like you also mentioned, the Bar Association had reacted to this transfer order, saying that it is not a trash bin and that they will not accept his coming back to the Allahabad High Court. But in the larger picture, see, this question remains whether a transfer would suffice such an incident, if at all it is a case of corruption, if the money that has been recovered is unaccountable and can be directly linked with corruption. Because it is also being talked about that some members in the collegium have expressed need for a stricter action required, in order to avoid tarnishing the reputation of the judiciary and also to instill keep the faith of the public intact in judiciary. Other than that, there have also been talks of Justice Verma being asked to resign as per the protocols which had been laid down in 1999 by the Supreme Court, and if done so, and if he refuses particularly, then an inquiry can also be ordered and an impeachment can also be initiated, in which usually it is through the parliament that the removal process, which is known as impeachment officially, will be started or initiated against Verma.
Right, and Anvit, at the same time, given the fact that several questions have been raised against the in-house procedure that has been ordered by the Supreme Court, that's also become a point of contention, with several political leaders have also raised questions about the opacity of the entire collegium system and this in-house procedure coming in from the judiciary and the top court of the country.
Certainly, see, inquiry has been ordered, and now it will be looked. Basically, various factors will be looked into. A chance will also be given to Verma to prove his point. Other than that, it will also be seen if this cash that has been recovered, can it be linked to any source? Can it be? Is there any declaration? Was there any declaration made regarding this cash that has been, that has been recovered from this residence? So a lot of things to be looked into. But as of now, see, inquiry has been ordered. Also, this transfer that has been, this is just an initial step to keep the faith of the public intact into the judiciary system, and following the inquiry, it will be seen if if the kind of violation that we are seeing here, if it comes out to be true, if it turns out to be true that this money, unaccounted cash, is actually can be linked, has direct links with corruption. So there are many points to look into, but as of now, the inquiry has been ordered and judge has been transferred. So we'll see in time to come what inquiry takes place and what reports do the inquiry commission comes out with.
Absolutely. We're getting some more breaking news because there seems to be a tussle within the judiciary. Now, what we're getting is a reaction of the Secretary of the Allahabad High Court Bar Association. His name is Vikrant Pandey. Now, he has said, and I quote, there has been a huge charge on Yashwant Verma. A huge amount of cash has been recovered from his residence. This is what we got to know from the media. The bar will not accept him here at any cost, is what the Secretary of the Allahabad High Court Bar Association has said. Remember, his transfer has been ordered from the Delhi High Court to the Allahabad High Court, but the Secretary of the Allahabad High Court Bar Association says the bar will not accept him here. Listen in.
ऑनरेबल जस्टिस यशवंत वर्मा जी के ऊपर ये लगा है चार्ज। उनके घर से मिला है कैश और काफ़ी बड़ी मात्रा में मिला है। ये ऐसा पता चला है जो मीडिया की खबरों से हमें पता चला है। हमें अपनी व्यक्तिगत जानकारी नहीं है, लेकिन मीडिया की खबरों से यही हमें जानकारी है। बार इसमें उनको किसी कीमत यहाँ एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेगा, ये बार का अपना फैसला है और यही इसी पे हम लोग निर्णय ले रहे हैं। 24 तारीख को 1 बजे जनरल हाउस बुला करके, और उसमें बाकी साथी हमारी कार्यकारिणी ने तो डिसाइड कर लिया है, लेकिन हम पूरे अपने जनरल हाउस बुला करके बाकी अधिवक्ता साथियों के साथ, जो इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट के बाकी अधिवक्ता साथी हैं, उनसे हम लोग बातचीत करेंगे और हम लोग एक निर्णय लेंगे और इस पर हम लोग एक बड़े आंदोलन के लिए तैयार होने जा रहे हैं।
So more and more questions now emerging from top lawyers across the country, including Harish Salve. He's also spoken out against the in-house investigation that has been ordered by the Supreme Court, as well as the transfer of Justice Yashwant Verma from the Delhi High Court to the Allahabad High Court. He was speaking to CNN News 18's Rahul Shivshankar. This is what he had to say.
On a day full of implications, really, for judicial transparency, Mr. Salve, your assessment of the response of the Supreme Court collegium in the first instance?
My response is, I'm afraid to say, very negative. And it's for a reason. The allegations, and I only call them allegations, I have no information beyond what I've read in the newspaper. So I caveat it. But if the allegations are true, and the fact that the Supreme Court has considered it necessary to act, then what should have been the response? And the response has established things which critics of the collegium system like me have always said, that this system doesn't work. Today, this is not a case where there are some internal complaints against the working of a judge, and in order to ensure that judicial independence and integrity is not compromised, you do an in-house inquiry. Today, this complaint is that, as per the newspapers, the fire brigade and the police went into the judge's home to rescue it from a fire and found large sums of cash. Now, if this is true, it's something which has happened in public. And I have 2 or 3 reasons for which I feel this collegium decision is deeply flawed. If this had been found, Rahul, in your house, if such a large money would have been found in your house, by now the ED would have been at your doorstep. If this money had been found at the house of the Home Secretary, Finance Secretary, Transport Secretary, would they have been transferred to another department? They would have been suspended and a disciplinary inquiry commenced. Perish the thought, if this had been found in the home of a cabinet minister or a state minister, what would have happened? People would have been paying for their blood. You would have been asking right now, why has he not been arrested? And if the government had said, we will do an in-house inquiry into the cabinet minister, the Supreme Court would have interfered on a PIL, constituted an SIT and a supervised investigation. Are those same standards to be applied to one of your own? I would say higher standards need to be applied to one of your own. So it's wrong at that level. It's wrong at a second level because this is not, I believe, an in-house inquiry has now been ordered.
Yeah.
This is not fit for an in-house inquiry. Third, why are you transferring this judge? If he is fit to discharge judicial functions, let him be in Delhi. And if he is unfit to discharge judicial functions pending this cloud till the cloud is either removed or confirmed, is he fit for Allahabad High Court but not for Delhi High Court? What is Allahabad High Court? A dumping ground? So, and you know, this notion that we are sending him to his parent High Court, he didn't come on a promotion to Delhi. Allahabad High Court is a co-equal institution and he was a judge of a co-equal institution. It is moving a judge from one court to the other. We are always told this is not a punishment. It's just a convenient arrangement of dispensing justice. So if he can't dispense justice in Delhi, how does it solve the problem by transferring him to Allahabad? So it is wrong at so many levels. I mean, Allahabad High Court is not a dustbin for judges of doubtful integrity. And if he is not of doubtful integrity, you have all the facts. You, in the sense, the collegium has all the facts. If you feel his integrity should not be doubted, leave him alone. And tell the people this is a nonsense. The media is running a false story or this is a false narrative or whatever, whatever.
Those are strong words coming in from former Solicitor General of India, Harish Salve, saying that there needs to be a revamp of the collegium system, because if this was the common man from whose home cash was recovered, such action, such as a transfer, would not have been done. In that case, the ED would be at the doorstep of any common man across this country. But another twist coming in into this entire case. Now we're getting exclusive interview with the fire chief who oversaw the operations at the judge's residence. He now claims in an exclusive interview to CNN News 18's Anvit Srivastav that no cash was found during the recovery operations.
सर ये जो कैश मिला है, the cash that has been found, it is being said that the cash was found following the incident of fire that happened. Did your teams that were at the spot find anything at the time of firefighting?
No. As per our record available, nothing was found like that. I also got this news from the newspaper only from today morning. This is a old fire call. I think this call was occurred on 14th. On the eve of holiday, and it was a very small fire call.
Sir, but when the firefighting was being done and when your men were at the spot, there was police also present there. It is being said that it was during the firefighting that some pile of cashes was spotted in those rooms which were affected by the fire. Anything on that your men had reported initially?
So far, no. There is no report about such thing. I am already telling we received a call that a fire was in a storeroom. And it was a very small fire. Fire was extinguished within 10 minutes. And my team, small lower staff, handed over the scene to the police present there and came back and nothing was reported such like that.
So, sir, the fire incident report that was made, it has no mention of any recovery or anything spotted like cash or anything in that spot.
I am saying it, and when my team was there was nothing was found like this. So whatever was found, that was reported in the fire report.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So that was my colleague Anvit Srivastav speaking to Atul Garg, the Delhi Fire Services chief, who has said that there was no spotting of cash during the firefighting which took place at the judge's residence on the 14th of March. I'm joined by Anvit Srivastav, who had that conversation with the Delhi Fire Services chief. Anvit, this is a huge twist coming into this entire war of words and this entire scandal that has rocked the judiciary.
Yeah, see, we had spoken with the director Atul Garg in the morning also and to other officials also, and we have doubly confirmed that Delhi Fire Services is maintaining since the beginning that at the time of firefighting they did not see any cash in this house. However, they have also gone on to say, some sources from Delhi Fire Services have told us that when they reached this house, 30 Tughlaq Crescent, they had found that the police was already present here. They are maintaining that they doused the fire, they contained the fire. It was a minor fire in a storeroom that had started around 11:30 and it took around 1 hour, close to 2 hours to completely contain the fire and douse it, and they had left the spot. It's what they're maintaining, but it has also been reported that it was during the firefighting that some people who were present in the house from the emergency services, as well as people already present in the house, even though it is being said that Justice Verma, he wasn't in the house at that time, and it is being said that it was from some of the rooms in this house that a pile of cash was spotted and recovered. The matter was then reported to the seniors in the Delhi police and to the higher ups in the judiciary, and it was following this cash that this news, when this was conveyed to the higher ups, it was then that and some action was taken, and the note of this incident was also taken by the collegium, and it was following the recovery because the cash was said to be unaccounted. The Supreme Court collegium decided to transfer Yashwant Verma from Delhi High Court back to his parent High Court in Allahabad. But following this, in another major development, the SC has also now ordered an inquiry to probe all the possible aspects related to the recovery of the cash. But it is also being said that even though the transfer has been done and the inquiry has been ordered, but it is also being talked about that some members of the collegium may have expressed a need for a stricter action requiring in order to avoid tarnishing the reputation of the judiciary, and also to keep the faith of the public instilled in the judiciary. So there have been talks of Justice Verma being asked to resign also, but if done, and if he refuses to do so, an inquiry can also be ordered, which has been ordered. And it is also being said that if he refuses to resign, then a formal process of impeachment, of removal of him, can be also be started through Parliament. So this is the procedure that had been laid down by Supreme Court way back in 1999, and that may be followed in this case as well. But right now, an inquiry has been ordered. Various aspects will be looked into, whether or not the cash that has been recovered has any links to anyone, if any link can be established. Also, if it in any way was it declared before it had been recovered. So many aspects to look into. But so far, yes, he has been transferred. The Allahabad High Court Bar Association has also said that they will not accept him coming to the Allahabad High Court, and at the same time, the inquiry by the Supreme Court has also been ordered.
Absolutely, with the Delhi Fire Chief now making it very clear in that exclusive conversation with my colleague Anvit Srivastav that no cash was found during the firefighting. I'm also joined by my colleague Ananya Bhatnagar on the broadcast. So Ananya, several top lawyers from the legal fraternity also raising their voice against this entire scandal, especially two actions. One, the ordering of an in-house inquiry by the Supreme Court, and two, the transfer of this judge from the Delhi High Court to the Allahabad High Court, where even the Secretary of the Allahabad High Court Bar Association has said that they will not accept Justice Yashwant Verma. So this has become a full-blown war within the legal fraternity itself.
Well, definitely nobody knew that, a small fire at a storeroom could result into a fireball in the judicial circles. But at the same point of time, what sources privy to the developments which are happening have told CNN News 18 exclusively to us is that, the reason why the first step of transfer was actually initiated for Yashwant Verma was because he, while being at the Delhi High Court, is part of the Delhi High Court collegium, which means that he is, somebody who had been playing a crucial role in fact, appointing the, recommending, the people who would be appointed as the judges of the Delhi High Court, and that recommendation is then sent to the Supreme Court collegium. And that is something, the reason why the Supreme Court felt, the Supreme Court collegium somewhere or the other felt that, the institution shall go on, then there should be no blot as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, the Delhi High Court collegium and the Delhi High Court is concerned. And for the smooth running of the institution is the reason why, Justice Yashwant Verma has been sent back to the parent High Court, where he stands at the 9th level of seniority, and hence he would not come in the way, at least of the appointment process of judges, or, holding key administrative positions as far as the Allahabad High Court is concerned. But at the same point of time, Justice Yashwant Verma's role in this whole issue is something that is being probed by the Supreme Court collegium. The Supreme Court collegium is actively dealing, is what sources, what the sources have told us very categorically. And a report, most importantly, has been said, sought from the Delhi High Court Chief Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyay, who will be sending the report at the earliest to, in fact, the Supreme Court collegium, and then the Supreme Court collegium, headed by the Chief Justice of India, Justice Sanjeev Khanna, would actually be going on in detailing as to what more action is required as far as Justice Yashwant Verma is concerned, because at this particular point of time, he still holds that constitutional post of the Constitutional Court of Allahabad High Court, though that transfer is yet to be approved by the central government. Because as per the procedure, the Supreme Court can only recommend for the transfer of a particular judge. The final call is with the government. The government would have to approve this, and only when the government would approve this particular transfer, he would be sent to the Allahabad High Court. But what happens to the inquiry that would be initiated against Yashwant Verma is something that would be very, very clear only and only after Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyay, the Honorable Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court, would say in his report as far as Justice Yashwant Verma is concerned, because Ayushman Yashwant Verma is a judge who had already faced a similar allegation in the past, wherein a CBI FIR had named him as a sleeping director of a firm which was actually charged under misappropriation of funds, and hence his name had actually cropped up. However, that complaint was later toned down and was in fact closed by the topmost court of the country by way of a 2-judges bench judgment. So how would things snowball for Justice Yashwant Verma is something that only time and Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyay's report could actually tell us.
Right. Thank you, Ananya, for getting us the latest. But more and more voices from the legal fraternity now demanding swift action when it comes to the corruption charges now against Justice Yashwant Verma. And on that note, I'm joined by former Additional Solicitor General of India, Vikas Singh, on the broadcast. Thank you, sir, for joining us on CNN News 18. How do you measure the Supreme Court's move to order an in-house inquiry into the corruption charges against Justice Yashwant Verma?
So in-house investigation definitely is the right step forward, and after the in-house investigation, probably wherever he is, whether it be in Delhi or in Allahabad, if they don't find a plausible explanation from him, they should immediately withdraw judicial work from him, because that should be the first step, and the second step should be to ask him to resign. And if he doesn't resign, then obviously the legal process of starting the impeachment, etc., should start. But definitely everybody is entitled to do an explanation. If in a country where even a Kasab got a trial, I don't see why a judge should not be given at least a preliminary opportunity to say whatever he has to say as far as this incident is concerned. And if the answer is not credible, then he should face the sternest of punishment as far as restoring the credibility of the institution is concerned. Because if that doesn't happen, as it is, judiciary has been on weak wicket for some years, and this will really be the last straw on the camel's back. So they should immediately take very strong action, not only against him, but also to identify similar black sheep that are there in the system and try to weed them out vigorously, and if need be to take the help of all the investigating agencies, because there are peddlers going around on the streets of every city peddling judges. Most of them of course are bogus peddlers, but the real ones can lead you to the judge also, and identification can happen, and this weeding exercise should happen immediately.
Right. But Mr. Singh, one big criticism that's coming in is that this entire case seems to show that judges are above any kind of scrutiny. If it was the common man at whose home this much cash was found, the ED would be at their doorstep. If it was a minister or a government official, they would be crucified in the public eye. So this criticism that's coming in from across the political spectrum, that judges seem to be above public scrutiny, is that a valid criticism?
So I personally feel that the collegium system really needs to reinvent itself, and I've been making this very, very clear, because what the collegium is doing now is transferring or appointing people whom they know personally or whom they are interested in, and nobody is interested in finding the right people who will be the right people for the institution. Unfortunately, if you want to identify the right person to become a judge, then you have to go out and request him to become a judge, because normally he would be somebody having a good practice and he would be really sacrificing his practice to become a judge. But that process of identification is not happening at all, and with the result that mediocre people with less integrity are getting transferred. I am also amazed at the collegium which decided to transfer or bring Justice Yashwant Verma from Allahabad to Delhi, and that also smacks of, if this was so fundamentally wrong with him, then obviously this would have been known to the then Chief Justice of India, who decided to transfer him. And in spite of this, if he has done this, then obviously it shows that this collegium system, both for appointment and for transfer, is completely flawed, and it needs to reinvent itself. I don't say that the collegium system should be disbanded, but I feel that the transparency in the system should be brought in completely. So for instance, if they want to appoint judges, they should actually have a basket of names, of all eligible names, before they decide to appoint somebody, rather than doing a pick and choose. And I'll give you a very interesting example of lawyers practicing in the Supreme Court. Now, Supreme Court lawyers are not appointed in the High Court only because they say, we don't see him practice here. Now, what nonsense is this? If you've taken the authority to appoint, then it comes with a huge responsibility. And if there is a good lawyer from your state practicing in the Supreme Court, then it is your job to identify him and bring him to the High Court, but request him to join the High Court. So it's a completely flawed system, and I hope this particular incident will open the eyes of the members of the collegium to reinvent themselves and to instill faith in the people in the appointment process.
That's a very strong statement coming in, Mr. Singh, but because Justice Verma's integrity is now under the scanner, just from a legal point of view, does this open a legal can of worms when it comes to Justice Verma's past rulings?
I will not say that, because I'll tell you my personal view. I mean, till this expose came in the morning today, I thought him to be a very good judge, a very fine judge, and he was a knowledgeable judge. So I'm actually a little shocked also. But fine judge or a knowledgeable judge does not justify him to indulge in corruption. And if he was indulging in corruption at the same time, then wherever his matters are pending in appeal, definitely will be viewed with a little amount of circumspection, whether it should be, judgment should be, seen with a more stronger magnifying lens. But I will not say that all his judgments would be suspect just because there is a case of corruption against him. So this will not really be the right way forward as far as looking at the judgments delivered by him are concerned.
Right. Vikas Singh, thank you for sharing your perspective on this entire scandal that has hit the judiciary. So top lawyers like Vikas Singh, including top political leaders, calling for a revamp of the collegium system, saying there must be greater transparency in the judiciary and judges cannot be above public scrutiny. We will continue to track all the developments coming in when it comes to this scandal that has hit the judiciary. For now, quick break. More news and updates on the other side.
Want the युवा to tell us कि वो क्या सोच रहे हैं, उनके क्या एस्पिरेशंस हैं, विकसित भारत 2047 कैसे हो सकता है.
At the end of the day, country is the byproduct of the society and the people.
भारत 2047 में फुल्ली डेवलप्ड हो जाएगा. भारत का यूथ को जॉब लेने की वजह से जॉब प्रोवाइड करना चाहिए.
जो करना है देश के लिए करना है. देश है तो हम है तो देश है.
The voice of youth, the vision for Bharat. Watch Rising Bharat, because the future is being shaped.
After 45 years, the United States spends more money on education by far than any other country, and spends likewise by far more money per pupil than any country, and it's not even close. But yet we rank near the bottom of the list in terms of success. But we're going to be returning education very simply back. Despite these breathtaking failures, the department's discretionary budget has exploded by 600% in a very short period of time, and employs bureaucrats in buildings all over Washington, D.C. And as a former real estate person, I will tell you, I ride through the streets of Washington and it says Department of Education, Department of Education. I said, how do you fill those buildings? It's crazy what's happened over the years. Denmark, Sweden, and those top Finland, those top countries that. But we're going to be returning education very simply back to the states where it belongs, and this is a very popular thing to do, but much more importantly, it's a common sense thing to do, and it's going to work. Absolutely, it's going to work. And Democrats and others that we have employed we're going to love and cherish our teachers along with our children, and they're going to work with the parents, and they're going to work with everybody else, and it's going to be an amazing thing to watch, and it's really going to be something special. And I said, how do you fill those buildings? It's crazy what's happened over the years. But beyond these core necessities, my administration will take all lawful steps to shut down the department. We're going to shut it down and shut it down as quickly as possible. It's doing us no good. We want to return our students to the states where just some of the governors here are so happy about this. They want education to come back to them, to come back to the states, and they're going to do a phenomenal job. Should I do this? Do it? I think so. We have pens for you too, special pens. I'll take this one. I had one pen.
Ms. McMahon,
Chairman Cassidy, yes, I'd like to introduce my daughter, Stephanie McMahon, Paul Levesque, her husband, and my son, Shane McMahon. I'm so happy to have them here, and many friends have come from far places, so I welcome having them here today and appreciate that they're here. So, thank you, Chairman Cassidy, Ranking Member Sanders, and distinguished members of the committee. I'm honored to have your consideration to serve as the Secretary of the Department of Education.
You're getting busy today. That was something, wasn't it?
Acceptance. Creative. To remove funding is very intentional, and it will absolutely disproportionately affect students of color and other minorities. Journal. it's very much reminiscent of Brown v. Board of Education, and it's very reminiscent of separate but equal. But we all know that that's not really the case, because those who have access to more finances absolutely will put their students in schools that have more finances and more resources, and that they will actively be able to pour into. And so if that's the case, then what happens to the students who don't have those kind of financial resources? Where do they get their education from? Is it subpar? And then you have to be intentional about taking care of yourself.
Our 2 was about to be 3 in July, and then I have
as life skill. For many of my students.
And welcome back to the Nation at 5 with me, Ayushman Singh Jamwal, shifting focus to the Karnataka Assembly, where dramatic scenes were witnessed outside the Assembly as 18 BJP MLAs have now been suspended amid the ruckus over the honey trap scandal that has jolted the Karnataka government. Now, 18 BJP MLAs have been suspended for 6 months from the Karnataka Assembly for indiscipline and dishonoring the Speaker's post. Chaos erupted in the Assembly over a honey trap scandal, as we were discussing, leading to the MLAs even being escorted out by the marshals as they were chanting slogans. The honey trap scandal came to light where Karnataka Cooperation Minister K. N. Rajanna on Thursday revealed that 48 MLAs in the state have allegedly been honey trapped, including an attempt on him as well as his son. He has called for a state police investigation into the matter. The BJP, on the other hand, and those visuals on the right side of your screen, they stormed the well of the house, and some even held CDs claiming to possess proof of the honey trap allegations. The chaos peaked when some lawmakers tore and flung papers near the Speaker's chair, leading to an adjournment of the session. And now 18 BJP MLAs have been suspended for 6 months from the Karnataka Assembly for indiscipline and dishonoring the Speaker's post. A lot of dramatic scenes coming in. Big questions also being raised against the Siddaramaiah government over why a formal inquiry is not being ordered by the state government, given the fact that the first allegation itself came from a sitting Karnataka minister. That is the big piece of news that's coming in, and you can see those visuals on your screen. Dramatic scenes from the Karnataka Assembly where 18 BJP MLAs have now been suspended for 6 months, being carried out of the Assembly by the marshals as the war of words only escalates between the Congress and the BJP and the JDS also in agreement with the Congress, saying that there should be an investigation into the entire honey trap scandal. To get more details, I'm joined by my colleague Sudat Bhardwaj on the broadcast. So Sudat, dramatic scenes from the Karnataka Assembly. What's the next course of action when it comes to this political war that's only raging and escalating further?
Well, just as we speak, the Karnataka Assembly has been adjourned indefinitely, and just at the very end, as expected perhaps, the Karnataka Transparency in Public Procurements Amendment Bill 2025 that will grant 4% reservation for minorities in civil contract works was passed in the Karnataka Assembly. It will next go to the Council. But just as more ruckus erupted in the Karnataka Assembly, that bill was passed and it was adjourned indefinitely. So lot of ruckus has erupted in the Assembly today over the Minister K. N. Rajanna's explosive revelations in the Assembly yesterday about how there was a honey trap attendant him. The BJP leaders, the JDS leaders believe this is a far more cause of concern, not just for 1 or 2 ministers in the Karnataka cabinet, but for all the MLAs, all the legislators at large. So a lot of protests erupted in this regard. There's a lot of indiscipline that was seen. A lot of MLAs even tried to barge into the Speaker's chair in the Karnataka Assembly, tore a copy of the Karnataka Transparency in Public Procurements Amendment Bill, and even protested, calling the government as a sex scandal sarkar. And we saw a lot of protests erupt today, but it has been indefinitely adjourned. We saw stormy end to the Karnataka budget session this time around, just like last time when the CT Ravi versus Lakshmi Hebalkar row broke out.
Right, and Sudat, at the same time, dramatic scenes as we can see, playing out outside the Karnataka Assembly. We can see those marshals just picking up the BJP MLAs. 18 of them have been suspended now for 6 months. This is an escalation of the war between the Siddaramaiah government as well as the BJP and the JDS. The strange part is that the BJP and the JDS are in agreement with several Congress leaders that this should be investigated. The charge came from a sitting minister in the Siddaramaiah government. So the big question emerges, why is the Siddaramaiah government not ordering an investigation?
Well, the one defense that is coming in for not ordering an investigation yet is that Home Minister G. Parameshwara said on the floor of the House that a concrete complaint must still come in from Minister K. N. Rajana. He said that a complaint or a probe cannot be ordered based on speculations, and that if Minister Rajana presents a clear complaint about all the allegations that he wants to place about who could possibly involved in that honey trap attempt, then a high-level probe could then be ordered from there. But that is why no probe has been ordered so far. When they will order, that is something we have to see. When K. N. Rajana really presents the complaint, that is something we have to wait and watch for. But the BJP, led by Karnataka BJP Chief B.Y. Vijayendra, said that the government was possibly trying to cover up by not ordering a probe, when it was being mulled yesterday right after K. N. Rajana raised those concerns in the assembly. So really that's why there is a big difference of opinion. Everyone wants a probe into this entire matter, but the delay and the nature of the probe that could be in place, that is something that has caused a lot of controversy. The BJP believes just a regular probe is not enough. They demand either a judicial inquiry under the leadership of a retired High Court judge, or they want a CBI probe altogether. So that is why a lot of ruckus has been caused in the assembly. We will now expect that the BJP leaders, what we hear, is also heading towards Raj Bhavan to file a complaint with the governor about them being marshalled out of the assembly, about how there were no opportunity for them to speak with regards to the KTPP bill. So a lot of concerns that they will be raising with the Raj Bhavan.
Right. Thank you, Siddharth, for joining us on the broadcast and getting us the latest, the war words, as well as the political battle lines just getting deeper and deeper in the state of Karnataka between the BJP and the Congress over the entire honey trap scandal. But shifting focus, Home Minister Amit Shah has once again taken on the DMK when it comes to the entire language controversy. Amit Shah has rained fire on the MK Stalin government. He has said, and I quote, "Every language is like a jewel of the country." Are they trying to say that we are against any language to the south, coming in against the charges that have been leveled by MK Stalin, who has claimed Hindi imposition by the NDA from the center? Home Minister Amit Shah has also said those who are doing politics in the name of your language have their own agenda. You don't have the courage to translate engineering and medical exams into Tamil, a charge that he had made earlier as well against the MK Stalin government. They are spreading poison in the name of language. You should not divide the country in the name of language. That pitch coming in from Home Minister Amit Shah against MK Stalin. Listen it.
जो भाषा के नाम पर दुकान चलाते हैं अपने भ्रष्टाचार को छुपाने के लिए, उनको मजबूत जवाब। भारत की एक एक भाषा भारत की संस्कृति का गहना है। मान्यवर क्या कहते हैं कि हम दक्षिण की भारत के भाषाओं के विरोधी हैं, कोई राज्य की भाषा के विरोधी कैसे हो सकते हैं? हम भी तो वहीं से आते हैं, मैं भी गुजरात से आता हूं। और मैं आज इस मंच पर से कहना चाहता हूं तमिलनाडु सरकार, 2 साल से हम कह रहे हैं आप में हिम्मत नहीं है मेडिकल और इंजीनियरिंग की शिक्षा को तमिल में अनुवादित करने की, क्योंकि आपके आर्थिक हित जुड़े हुए, आप ये नहीं कर सकते हो। मगर हमारी सरकार आएगी एनडीए की, हम मेडिकल और इंजीनियरिंग का कोर्स तमिल में तमिलनाडु में बनाएंगे। आने वाले भाषा के नाम पर जो जहर फैला रहे, मैं उनको कहना चाहता हूं कि हजारों किलोमीटर दूर की कोई भाषा आपको अच्छी लगती है और भारत की भाषा आपको अच्छी नहीं लगती। भाषा के नाम पर देश के विभाजन के लिए, देश के बंटवारे के लिए बहुत सारा हो चुका, अब नहीं करना चाहिए।
A strong statement coming in from Home Minister Amit Shah against MK Stalin inside the Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined by my colleague Payal Mehta on the broadcast. So Payal, the battle lines are drawn when it comes to the entire language war being waged in Tamil Nadu by the DMK against the BJP. But Home Minister Amit Shah once again reiterating the fact that the DMK is only fear-mongering when it comes to the name of language.
You know, Ayushman, he says this in no uncertain words. He basically says that you're trying to hide your corruption, you're trying to, hide your disappointments and trying to use this as the language, as an issue to, in fact, settle scores as well. But, the Home Minister over there on the floor of the House essentially saying that we will expose you, we will expose your corruption. We'll go to every village of the country and tell them that, this is not the way it should be done. Hindi is complementary of any other language. Hindi is not competing with any other language. That's the comment coming in from the Home Minister. The Home Minister, in fact, raining fire on the opposition as we build up to that big meeting that the opposition parties, led by the DMK, are going to have tomorrow, where, of course, multiple leaders from the opposition are going to be present, and they've been constantly alleging that, there is Hindi imposition that the center is trying to do. Amit Shah over there also, once again warning these parties and saying they do not try to poison the minds of the people, do not try to spread poison amongst people. And he also goes on to say that, whenever we have a government in place, we will ensure that, the language translation takes place in Tamil as far as, courses like engineering and medical are concerned.
Absolutely. Payal Mehta, thank you for joining us on the broadcast as the war of words only escalates between the DMK and the BJP. MK Stalin planning to lead a coalition of non-Hindi states against the centre claiming Hindi imposition. At the same time, planning to lead a coalition of southern states when it comes to the entire delimitation exercise, drawing the battle lines ahead of the state elections, which will take place in Tamil Nadu next year. But Home Minister Amit Shah also hitting back at the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. We will continue to track all the developments coming in on that front. For now, a quick break, more news and updates on the other side.
All right, so we're doing this for the third year.
Don't think anyone's ever achieved this before.
And we're on top all the time, no breaks.
No, this is not clear. But one thing is clear, and let's get this straight. CNN News 18 is the #1 English news channel for 3 years running.
Because in a world that is experiencing groundbreaking shifts,
We keep our eye on the ball and the whole world, pursuing the facts,
making sense of them,
and cutting through the confusion to offer clarity.
because when we chase the news, we are
authentic,
credible,
objective.
CNN News 18, the undisputed leader of English news for 3 whole years and counting. Now, CNN News 18 unveils a new identity that showcases our leadership. With path-breaking screen architecture to cut the clutter. One screen, one form, one stream. CNN News 18. For a new, bold India.
After 45 years, the United States spends more money on education by far than any other country, and spends likewise by far more money per pupil than any country, and it's not even close. But yet, we rank near the bottom of the list in terms of success. But we're going to be returning education very simply back. Despite these breathtaking failures, the department's discretionary budget has exploded by 600% in a very short period of time, and employs bureaucrats in buildings all over Washington, D.C. And as a former real estate person, I will tell you, I ride through the streets of Washington and it says Department of Education, Department of Education. I said, how do you fill those buildings? It's crazy what's happened over the years. Denmark, Sweden, and those top Finland, those top countries that. But we're going to be returning education very simply back to the states where it belongs, and this is a very popular thing to do, but much more importantly, it's a common sense thing to do, and it's going to work. Absolutely, it's going to work. And Democrats and others that we have employed we're going to love and cherish our teachers along with our children, and they're going to work with the parents, and they're going to work with everybody else, and it's going to be an amazing thing to watch, and it's really going to be something special. And I said, how do you fill those buildings? It's crazy what's happened over the years. But beyond these core necessities, my administration will take all lawful steps to shut down the department. We're going to shut it down and shut it down as quickly as possible. It's doing us no good. We want to return our students to the states where just some of the governors here are so happy about this. They want education to come back to them, to come back to the states, and they're going to do a phenomenal job. Should I do this? I think so. We have pens for you too, special pens. I'll take this one. I had one pen.
Ms. McMahon,
Chairman Cassidy, yes, I'd like to introduce my daughter, Stephanie McMahon, Paul Levesque, her husband, and my son, Shane McMahon. I'm so happy to have them here, and many friends have come from far places, so I welcome having them here today and appreciate that they're here. So, thank you, Chairman Cassidy, Ranking Member Sanders, and distinguished members of the committee. I'm honored to have your consideration to serve as the Secretary of the Department of Education.
You're getting busy today. That was something, wasn't it?
Acceptance. Creative. To remove funding is very intentional, and it will absolutely disproportionately affect students of color and other minorities. Journal. It's very much reminiscent of Brown v. Board of Education, and it's very reminiscent of separate but equal. But we all know that that's not really the case, because those who have access to more finances absolutely will put their students in schools that have more finances and more resources and that they will actively be able to pour into. And so
And welcome back to the Nation at 5 with me, Ayushman Singh Jamwal. Big breaking news coming in, and this is brought to us by our securities editor Manoj Gupta. Now, what we are learning is that the Enforcement Directorate continues its crackdown on the SDPI, and what we are learning is that the ED has arrested SDPI operative Wahidur Rahman Jainul Abudin in Coimbatore. Wahidur Rahman Jainul Abudin was arrested after the completion of searches and brought to Delhi on the 20th of March. He was a physical trainer of the PFI and is also closely associated with the SDPI. The accused was also arrested earlier by the Tamil Nadu police for throwing petrol bombs while protesting against the ban against the PFI and causing damage to public and private property. He is also found to be involved in depositing cash in various bank accounts, which were further transferred to the SDPI bank accounts and shown as donations. I'm joined by my colleague Anand Narasimhan on the broadcast to get more details. So Anand, clearly this man was not just someone who handled the financial operations, but also handled a lot of disruptions and agitations and those vandalism operations, if you will, for the SDPI and the PFI.
One of the biggest thing is that the SDPI president has been arrested, and he was claimed to be an active member of the PFI. The allegation is that the SDPI was allowed to continue as a political entity despite all of PFI and its other affiliates, non-political affiliates, being banned since 2020. Now the question is that, and the allegation is that a lot of the PFI members are now members of SDPI, and the PFI continues to control and has an active role in the workings and the functioning of the SDPI. The SDPI time and again comes and says, no, they are an independent entity, they've got nothing to do with PFI. But this man, Jainul Abdin, who's now been arrested, and he's been produced in court also at the Patiala House Court, he was arrested on the 20th of March, that's yesterday. He has now been seen as depositing money into the accounts, cash. He's a member of the PFI. He's a physical trainer of the PFI, but he's been part of political agitations of the SDPI, and he's been accused of throwing petrol bombs, and he was picked up in the past in Mettupalayam district when the SDPI was protesting, and he has deposited money into the accounts of people, cash that he's got from PFI into the accounts of people who have then passed that money on to SDPI. So the SDPI, PFI close nexus and link also gets established further with this man's activities, and perhaps interrogation will reveal more details. We've just got some more information saying that the ED has overall now attached about properties amounting to 61.72 crore rupees till date. 9 prosecution complaints have been filed in the case in this and the Honorable Special Court with the aspect of PMLA, that is Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Here again, the allegation is internationally, the SDPI's outfit ISF and the PFI's outfit IFF were rotating their cadre, or intermingling of the cadre was happening, and whatever donations were being raised, money was being passed on. So the linking of SDPI and the PFI emerging, and the ED has now documents, and now perhaps the second person who is an active member of the PFI but also working for the SDPI. So the SDPI president, who was perhaps seen as a conduit and taking instructions, and now this guy Jainul Abdin. So 2 members. And that's where the ED now believes they have solid proof to say, and they can take this to this, the Central Election Commission and question whether or not SDPI should continue as a party, or should it be deregistered, derecognized, and action should be taken against the SDPI and its members too, because a lot of them are also working members of the PFI.
Right. So, Anand, does it always remain a challenge to trace the contours of these organizations because they have really informal leadership structures? Does that consistently remain a challenge even after the fact that the PFI has been banned in this country?
See, it's the legal tangle. They use the law to subvert the law. Now, until about 2013, 2014, before the Hadia case became a national issue and Satya Sarani, another wing of the PFI, came into fore, Campus Front of India came into the fore. At that time, the PFI used to have a tree and all these organizations as its under umbrella branches. So they said, we are going to model ourselves around the RSS and have all its affiliate organizations as a social organization. And if the RSS had the BJP as its political political offshoot, we will have the SDPI, the Students Democratic Party of India, Social Democratic Party of India. But what happens is that after this Hadia case happened and then PFI came under scrutiny, they started delinking. Campus Front of India started saying we are an independent entity. SDPI said we are independent entity. Satya Rajni said we are independent. But they were all linked to PFI. Now, despite their claims, what they make as per law and paper and everybody having independent websites, what the paper trail, the money trail shows is that even after the ban of the PFI and it becoming a proscribed organization, its members are actively involved in SDPI activities, and SDPI, counter to its claims that it's an independent entity, still takes instructions from PFI and is nothing but a mere offshoot. So that's where the problems for the SDPI now mount. Where at that time when PFI was banned, many asked why is SDPI being allowed to continue as a political party, because SDPI tried to make a case that we are a politically registered party and we are conducting our activities. Now perhaps the MHA, the ED can make a case to the CEC to talk about or consider deregistering of SDPI and then perhaps further prosecution on its members.
Right. Thank you, Anand, for decoding that for us. But that's all we have to pack in on the show, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the crackdown on the PFI and the SDPI nexus. Up next, Plain Speak with Akanksha Swaroop.
Hi, good evening. You're watching Plain Speak. I'm Akanksha Swaroop. Congress leader and leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi has courted controversy yet again. This after he attacked merit in India, calling it unfair to the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and other backward castes. Rahul Gandhi has also promoted caste census, which many believe is meant to divide the Hindu community. He made these remarks during his podcast with economist Sukhadeo Thorat. During this entire course of the 15-minute program, Rahul Gandhi claimed that merit is flawed and unfair. He claimed that those opposed to caste census